And let's talk about it right now. We are AT&T. I'm Courtney with Cowboys Nation.
What is up? Hey, welcome to this is a special edition of Tag Nation because we're airing it live on Sunday night. We had a little technical difficulties in the beginning. We're going to get that figured out next week. Hopefully, you guys can hear me good. But before I get started, make sure you like, subscribe, share. Like I said, if you're a Cowboys fan, we got something sweet that we're going to be doing a giveaway once we hit that magic number of 1,000 subscribers. We're gaining them every day, so we're getting close. If you can't listen to us on YouTube or Facebook with Tag Nation, you can also check us out on Spotify. So we've got a good show. We both of us are a little tired. It's been a rough
Yes.
week. I know, Jimmy, you're feeling it. I actually was out of town on Thursday. I had to drive about 9 hours. Made it in time to watch the draft, but where I was at, Wi-Fi wasn't the greatest, so I didn't get to interact too much, with the live draft. I did get to see it, then watched the second day, drove back home another 9 hours on Saturday. I don't even know what day it is. And then I'm flying out on Monday, gone a week, leaving the country. So we got to get this thing going, Jimmy. How was your weekend? Because I know you're feeling it too.
Yeah, it was good. I didn't do all the driving. I wasn't pulling the smoking the bandit bit like you were, 18 hours round trip. Had fun, had some time with the family, hung out with some friends, threw a few drinks back. As was shown on Twitter yesterday when I was cheering people from the backyard. But no, it was a good weekend. But like you said, definitely getting late on a Sunday.
It is. So we're gonna get through this show. I think we're gonna have some fun with it. The draft was, that's what it was all about. So we're just really, this show is going to be focused on the draft, and unfortunately for Jimmy, it's going to be probably a lot about the Cowboys. So it's saying my mic is glitchy. That's what I'm getting. So hopefully you guys are hearing me okay. If not, I do apologize. But we'll get started. We'll get going. We're going to work through it. So anyway, the Cowboys draft. So many times, not being able to interact with people. Like I was watching and listening a little bit, and when I finally got caught up on Twitter, there was a lot of negativity, with the draft. Did we take this guy too high? The way I look at the draft is that they address the needs that they had. Everyone's an expert. Jimmy, you're an expert. We got the ESPN guys are experts. Everyone tells you what you're supposed to do. And it reminded me of a time, probably I wish the draft was more like this back in '94 when something happened. And, I saved the tape. So before we get started breaking down the draft, this is how I feel sometimes when I get all these experts, on ESPN, on NFL Network, telling the teams what they're supposed to do. So, Dominic, roll the tape.
One question, Bill. A lot of criticism about not taking a quarterback here. Your response?
Well, we got a guy up there. Who in the hell is Mel Kiper, in a way? I mean, here's a guy that criticizes everybody, whoever they take. He's got the answers to who you should take and who you shouldn't take. In my knowledge of him, he's never ever put on a jockstrap. He's never been a coach. He's never been a scout. He's never been an administrator. And all of a sudden, he's an expert. He's in our papers 2 days ago telling us who we have to take. We don't have to take anybody that Mel Kiper says we have to take. Mel Kiper has no more credentials to do what he's doing than my neighbor, and my neighbor's a postman, and he doesn't even have season tickets to.
That was the best.
How I feel sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
That was the best. The laughing stock of the league each year. I don't know, man. That was great. That was a good one. It's funny. Mel Kiper now looks like somebody took a weed whacker to his head. I don't know what happened there. Man's got to get a better barber. I don't know. I lost the volume on you there, bro. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. We're having some technical difficulties. Dom, you be able to figure out what's going on?
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
All right, sorry about that. I was trying to fix it while the video was playing. So I apologize. Jimmy, you were supposed to handle the show while I'm sitting there fixing these things. What's the matter with you? Slap me next time I see you. No, sorry about that. We got a rough start. Hopefully you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me better. But I had to just change a couple things up. I'm still figuring things out. Like I said, man, have a little sympathy. The man's driven 18 hours. But back to Mel Kiper. That's what we were talking about. That's in the draft. You get these guys telling you what you're supposed to do. And that's the way I felt a little bit about, the first day with the Cowboys, all the, the naysayers and the experts telling them which guy they're supposed to get. They're supposed to get a lineman. They drafted a lineman, but it wasn't a lineman that some people wanted. So they, of course not. So what's your thoughts on, before we get into the details of the draft, you get all these guys on there that are the experts, never been a GM, never played the game and all that kind of stuff. Right.
No, well, I mean, I was on Twitter Thursday and Friday, and boy, Cowboys Nation was pissed. I couldn't believe all the negativity on there, and who was going to leave. I'm not going to be a fan anymore. All this other crap, and again, who's the experts? Everybody is always crapping on the Joneses, which I get. Stephen Jones probably shouldn't be handling any player personnel decisions. But in the same token, it was just nothing but people wanting to jump ship.
Well, and I trust McClay, and I think the draft that they've done in the last few years, I usually do a hype video draft night. Again, I couldn't do it because I was out of town and wasn't in a spot where I could drop one. But I did one when they drafted Parsons, and I got so much negative reaction. Waste of a pick. He's there. I can't believe they drafted a linebacker and in that pick, 11 traded with the Eagles. This guy's, and then he ends up winning defensive rookie of the year. So, my philosophy on this stuff, and I appreciate the extras. A lot of people put a lot of time in it. So I was just kind of joking and just having fun with that. I know Mel Kiper, McShay, all these guys, they do very, they put a lot of work and they put a lot of time and effort. Of course, Jimmy made a very valid point despite being an idiot. We know that, Danny. We've already got that covered. But the thing is
speaking of idiots, Danny, you should keep your mouth shut.
Go ahead.
No, I said, yeah, Danny, why don't you? We've invited you on the show, Danny. You're afraid to come on, so you're going to sit there and be a keyboard tough guy and type your. Why don't you come on? We've invited you more than once.
He's a keyboard tough guy.
Exactly.
But everything I've seen, on Tyler Smith, he's a big kid. He's a little raw. Has he had some penalty issues? Yeah, he had some penalty issues. A lot of it was technique. I think that's where maybe they feel they could correct it. He's 20 years old. He's a great run blocker. He's got a nasty attitude. And if I'm going to be honest, that's a little bit what this defense needs. They got shoved around a little bit. That front, where I think he's going to be the left guard. He has a shot to be the starter at left guard. We got pushed around. We got pushed up front. So, I want to get a little nastiness in there. So, hey, if it works out, I don't know. Time will tell. But I'm not going to make a knee-jerk reaction and call the guy a bust and say, the season's over because we didn't get the guy that you wanted or that, that the experts, said you should get. So I saw a lot of mock drafts where this guy was taken in the first round in the 20 range, and that's where we took him. And like I said, if you got your eye on your guy and you want to get him. I don't care if it's 24 or 32, you go get him.
Well, and to your point, we've said this before, it's won in the trenches. The game is won in the trenches. And if you got somebody, like you said, who's vicious and mean and wants to get in there, that's what you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
So maybe there were better players out there, but for the position you're looking for, that's the guy that fit best.
Yeah. And just to respond to Steve, because I love Steve. We interact a lot on Twitter, and I respect it. I got an Amari Cooper jersey. It's going to be coming down as soon as my other one comes in. But I love Amari Cooper. He didn't put up the numbers. I mean, let's just be call it for what it is. Whether it's a scheme, whether it's the offense, whatever, for whatever reason it is, he didn't get the job done. He didn't put up the numbers. So maybe no one wanted him. Maybe they screwed up and they tipped their hand that they were going to let him go. But $20+ million a year for him, they didn't feel it was worth it. They let him go. Lyle Collins couldn't beat out Terrence Steele at tackle last year. So he hadn't played in 2 years. He came out of shape during the 21 season or 20 season, ended up getting hurt or injury or whatever it was. He didn't play. And he played like crap, got suspended for 5 games last year, got beat out by an undrafted free agent, Terrence Steele. So what did we lose? I mean, let's be real. Randy Gregory, what did we lose? I love Randy Gregory. I'm not being negative, but now the season starts. I'm not looking back. I'm not crying about who's gone. All I care about is who's on the team now. Mari Cooper, I wish you well. He ain't on the team. If we play him, he comes across the middle, Buzzsaw better take him out. Lyle Collins, Parsons has got his name written all over you. He's going to mess you up when he sees you. That's the attitude I have. That's the way I am as a Cowboys fan. I'm not going to cry. I'm all in. All that crying was off season. The season started now. I'm looking forward. I wish those guys the best, but I'm riding with what we got. Just like when you're in the Four Horsemen talked about, when you're in the gang fight, you're all in or you're out. And that what Double A said?
Yes, yes. And you know what though? And to your point, you don't want to look in the rearview mirror because that doesn't matter anymore, right? So here's the personnel you have, and it's gonna, things are gonna work out or they're not gonna work out. You can't go looking in the rearview mirror, right?
No. And we didn't win the Super Bowl, so maybe some changes need to be made. This guy's raw. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna let time go. I'm not gonna say he's gonna be Eric Williams, but I'm also not going to say he's going to be a bust in one of these linemen that didn't pan out. He's got the right attitude. Listen to his press conference. He wants to get better. I'm sure McClay and the scouts did their due diligence on him. I'm sure they know what they got to correct. So we'll let time, we'll let time play out and we'll see what happens. So let's see. Just was cut just because he didn't want to take the vaccine.
Nah, maybe, we're not going to.
Maybe that's true. I don't know. There we go. Four Horsemen. I like
that.
But maybe that has he got on Jerry Jones's bad side. I don't know, but it is what it is. Like I said, I can't look back. I love Pooh. I got his jersey. Someday he'll be welcome back in the cave, but until he's retired, he's no longer welcome in this house. So
no.
But really, looking back, and Jimmy, we had the draft show. We talked and with the Cowboys, I said what they need to do is they need to find 3 guys, not 4, 3 guys that they got to get that can contribute to the team in 2022. And they don't have to be stars. They don't have to put up huge numbers. They got to contribute. And I think what they did with their first 3 picks is did that. We needed to get better on the line. Left guard's been a problem. We'll see if this kid can come in and make it happen. We're going to get to Jimmy. Don't worry about it. We got a lot to get to Jimmy about his Falcons. Sam Williams. We got to replace Gregory with his 6 sacks and all his penalties that you guys, everyone complained about all the penalties. So we got to replace that. So Sam Williams, he's got a nasty streak. He's been a 3-year starter in college. He had 12.5 sacks. His run defense does need work. But right now, if he can get 12.5 sacks and he can wreak havoc in the backfield with that quarterback, I'll take it. He runs a 4.46 or something like that. He's played in the SEC, which means he went against elite competition for mostly every week of the season. So I'll take that as well. Looking back to the 3rd round pick, this one is near and dear to my heart because this is a South Alabama kid. A buddy of mine plays there. So the last 2 years, I had the opportunity to watch him play because I was supporting South Alabama Jaguars. And my son and I, we're glued to him. The kid was making catches. He has good speed. 50-50 balls he's going to get majority of the time. So I think it was a steal for them to get him in the 3rd round. He had opportunities. He grew up in Mobile. He stayed home, went to South Alabama. With all the transfer portal, he had opportunities to go to other big SEC schools in Alabama. You can figure out which ones they were. He wanted to stay and finish where he started. So many of these kids you see, we'll get into college another time, but so many of these kids in college football, they're all jumping ship to the best opportunity to move in it. And he had his chance probably last year and he did. He wanted to stay in South Alabama and finish what he started with that team. So the kid's got high character. He can run. He can play any position at receiver. So put him in the slot, put him outside. That allows CD to be versatile because CD can do the same, play all around. So I think he's a kid who's going to contribute. So those three guys right there, I think, are going to contribute to the team in 2022. They better contribute because we need them in order to get us to the next level. So I know I babbled on a little bit, Jimmy. What's your thoughts?
Well, I do want to say one thing because there was some trades and stuff, but I'm surprised Debo didn't go anywhere. Mayfield didn't go anywhere. And for my part, I'm shocked that we didn't trade Grady Jarrett, and for picks. I'm really surprised just for cap room.
Well, there was a lot of trades.
Oh, there was a lot.
You saw the receiver at Tennessee got traded to the Eagles, and then they got a first round pick. Then they gave him $100 million. So there was some wheeling and dealing, but we'll get into the quarterback part. But that's definitely something that we've got to get from. Very static, still noisy, huh?
Well, we'll have to work on that. We'll work on that
another day. There's nothing I can do about it. Just bear with me. I apologize if it is. We'll figure this thing out. So, going into their last few picks, they needed a run blocking tight end. They got one for Jake Ferguson at Wisconsin. They got another offensive lineman. They got a cornerback. I mean, when you get in the fifth round, all these guys are projects, and you got to figure out what you've got. So, we'll figure all that out. And then the kid they got from LSU, Clark, he's going to be out pretty much all year, but hopefully he'll be back 2023. He's one of those guys you stash away like they did, Jalen Smith that 1 year had injury. They don't think he'll be able to play in 2022. So he'll be back in 2023.
Well, you're talking about the Eagles. Everybody's on their jock on what a great draft weekend they had, and maybe they did. But again, I'm just really surprised those big three names didn't move anywhere. On Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
As far as the Falcons go,
let's jump to the next draft. I'm having issues, so I'm getting a little scattery because I guess my volume is screwed up. But let's jump and talk about the quarterbacks and talk about the Falcons because that's what we all thought. You guys were all in on the quarterback. It was gonna be you guys with Malik Willis, and you guys didn't take him, but sure they fell pretty far.
Yeah, he fell far, and it was funny because he was available when we took Desmond Ridder. But to that point, you knew Malik Willis was going to get drafted. He fell a lot further than everybody thought he would. But you know what? We'll see what happens. There was a lot of people. There was negativity on Falcons, Twitter with people. Why didn't we take Malik? And why do we take Drake London? Look, to the point that we said, it's hitting and getting the positions you need. So we needed a wide receiver. We got one. We needed edge. We drafted two edges, top three in the within the first 3 rounds. Linebacker. We needed a linebacker. I'm cool with that. Quarterback. You know what? I could have taken or leaving a quarterback. Malik, I'm shocked we didn't take Malik Willis. Beyond that, I could have went without taking a quarterback this year because it wasn't a strong draft class for quarterback. So, and then rounds 5 and 6, we had 3 picks, and we took a running back, a tight end, and an offensive lineman. And at the end of the day, I think we should have picked all offensive linemen at that point.
You're getting a lot of heat on here for your Falcons, but the thing is with Desmond Ridder, the one comparison, if you look at a lot of people always comparing you to what in the NFL, it's Mariota. So it maybe makes sense that they went that route because of the type of offense maybe they're going to be running, and this guy has some similarities to Mariota. Maybe that's the reason. That's the only logical thing I could think of because I thought Malik Willis was he was raw. You weren't going to throw him in the fire, but I thought he had enough ups. His ceiling to me is much higher than Ridder, so I probably would have taken him. But they did the scouting, they figured it out. He's a hometown kid, so for them to pass on him, they had to have their reasons.
Well, and the thing is, I'll listen to, like you said, the so-called experts are saying that we got an A to an A minus for our draft, for the draft this year. And, the wide receiver we picked, a lot of people were pissed off in Falcons Nation, but guy's got hands, he's got speed, and he's tall. He's 6'5", so you got him and Pitts. Two tall guys, and, who basically are going to, run by and run over people.
Yeah. Yeah, London's no joke. I mean, he's a good receiver. I mean, they got a top receiver there. If they can get him the ball, and again with him and Pitts, you've got something to work with. They just
right.
You got to fill in those other areas. So it's gonna be tough. But like we said, how many teams start out at the bottom and they end up back in the top? So the draft, it's unknown. Look what happened. Look what happened in Cincinnati with Jamar Chase. I mean, they draft Chase, and he lit it up. I mean, without him, they wouldn't have went to the Super Bowl, and they got criticized. Here we go again. They got criticized for not taking an offensive lineman. Now,
yeah,
he got beat up. Quarterback got bashed around, and their offensive line sucked, but you weren't going to get there without Chase. So it's one of those things you just got to figure it out. But it was just interesting. All the trades, there's a lot of trades in the first round. Well, I mean, no wonder why Georgia won the national championship. And then with that 7 guys on defense, get drafted in the NFL, you only start 11. I don't even know how many guys that were seniors or seniors or juniors draft eligible that came out and how many are staying. But it seemed like the whole damn defense got drafted. So, they had a big night. If you're in Georgia, you're loving that. I was disappointed. The Hurricanes got one guy drafted in the 7th round that kept the streak alive of 46 years with a player getting drafted. But we knew, I knew that was going to be the case because they're a young team. They didn't have a lot of seniors, so some of their guys, they weren't highly touted. I think in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, as they're building something there, they'll get back into the groove where they're getting their guys back on to be first round draft picks.
No, I'm just a little pissed again that we didn't really take some offensive linemen with those last 3 picks we had. That has been a problem for years, long before the situation with Ridley, long before losing Matty Ice. The offensive line's been a disaster. So we really should have picked some offensive linemen for the last 3. But I'm really happy. The first 5 picks were spot on, and I'm cool with that.
Well, I tell you, I don't know if you heard the noise up in New York, but the Jets, my God, what they did in this draft, getting Sauce and getting all these guys, and I mean they were working. I mean, they were working that first round, and even on the second day, they improved their team. I'd say they probably got 4 starters, out of that draft, and guys that have a lot of upside that can possibly do some damage. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Jets, they've always been the perennial, losers and can't get right. So it's going to be interesting to see how they can translate it. Because again, all these guys have talent. All these players are talented. It's the systems you go in, the coaching that you get, and that's what really turns it around. I mean, there's a reason why Tom Brady was a 6th round draft pick, and he has all that success, and you get all these other guys, these first round bust year after year. 50% of the quarterbacks in the first round are bust. So there's a reason why that happens. So it's the systems you get in, the situations you go to, the coaching, all that plays a part. So, these guys, they got to land in the right spot. So hopefully some of them did. Because there was some talent, there was some good drafts. It wasn't the best draft. It wasn't wasn't the normal. And quarterbacks usually need that. It wasn't one of those elite drafts that you see, but there was a lot of guys in here that can be solid NFL players, and more importantly, there was a ton of receivers, and that's why you saw the running receivers, just go like crazy.
I see we're getting taunted here by Camo Piper, the 49ers fan. He's taunting the both of us. Super Bowl champions who? Not the Falcons or the Cowboys.
Did they said the 49ers in the Super Bowl? I missed it. Were they in the Super Bowl? They won the Super Bowl when? 90, when the last time they won the Super Bowl?
I don't know. I don't remember.
94, 95.
With Charles Haley.
We had Charles Haley. They won it with Dion. And then Dion said, you know what? I got to go to a real team. Let me go to a real team in the Super Bowl. And that's exactly what he did.
Well, yeah. So it was interesting. Like you said, it was a heavy, with receivers in the draft, and again, you look forward. You don't look in the rearview mirror. You see what happens, and before you know it, it's going to be we're going to be at camp.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the season starts now. All the the pass is over. I'm excited. I'm ready to move forward with the guys we got. Maybe there's going to be some. We got a bunch of undrafted free agents. Now with only 7 rounds compared to years past, we had 14. Some of these guys can make the team, so it's going to be interesting to see some of these maybe diamonds in the rough that get into that right situation. It's got some talent that they can help any of these NFL teams, and hopefully maybe the Cowboys get one. Because like I said, we've always found a couple of these guys. Tony Romo wasn't drafted. Miles Austin wasn't drafted. Terrence Steele wasn't drafted. I mean, you can go down the list, not just the Cowboys. You can go down any roster. Right. Any roster. It's, a lot of teams are made up with those late round and undrafted free agents. So it's going to be interesting to see, but I'm just glad football is officially back. Schedule comes out May 12th. That's when we might have to do a special show to break down that schedule and figure out where we're going to be next.
Yeah, and figure out when you and I are going to be going to a game together.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But and it is funny though. You're always saying nothing's going on. It's a slow. Man, we got the NBA playoffs. We got the NHL playoffs starting this week. We got the Yankees on an 8-game winning streak. Yeah.
When it comes to football, there, everything else takes lower level. But seriously, no. NBA is great. I mean, the finals have been a lot of fun. Hockey's getting going. Baseball, it's so early. It's hard to really get into baseball. With so much life left. But nothing gets me hyped up more than football, man.
Yeah. Now you've always been a diehard with that, with the UM and Dallas. So, Miami Heat, where's the Knicks? Well, yeah, the Knicks sucked this year. We've talked about that plenty of times, and it is what it is. Hopefully, we have a bounce back year next year.
Look at Jimmy being so tame.
Well, what do you want me to do? Yep, and we got people on DraftKings and everything making money on the Yankees today. That's good. Glad to hear that. It's like a free for all here tonight. We're talking about the draft, and it's a free for all.
Yeah. So anyway, I apologize for the audio. I had it work and I tested it out today. I don't know what's going on. It's what you do. You buy expensive, microphone, and then it don't work, and I'm back to another one, and I guess it's still kind of glitchy. So I do apologize.
No, you know what?
Else, Jimmy? We got anything else you need to cover?
No, it was a great show. I'll say this: Tuesday, Rangers, Penguins. Let's go Rangers! We're going to kick their ass. And then you guys in Tampa have Toronto. So hopefully you smack those punks around too.
I'll answer one last question from my man Steve. Who's going to win a champion first, the Canes or the Cowboys? And that's a tough question because it's been a long time for both of them. They're both going to win it the same year. The Canes are coming back, and I'm going to get into some college football, but the U, I'm going to say it finally is back. So we got the right coach. We got the right coaches. He's bringing the alumni in. We're getting some key guys. So I'm hoping they win at the same time. But if you're going to ask me, put something to me, I want the Cowboys to win before anything. So hopefully the Cowboys win. But I love the U, and I'll definitely be hitting some tailgates and some games down there too.
Yeah, I seen somebody looks like Mikey was bringing up the Marlins. Is that a minor league team? You bring up that
minor league team for it. You got like 5 people at the stadium. No one cares about the Marlins.
I'm telling you, man, you can blow off a bomb in section 300. Nobody's going to get hurt because nobody's around.
That's right. If need be, we'll call the chief of security, Big Lou over there, and knock some people through the roads like he had to do when you were there. They had a little altercation at a game. He had to watch your back.
Yeah, we can kind of talk about that real quick. So the Yankees were playing the Marlins. We blew the lead late, and I might have had a few, maybe dozen cocktails of me at that point. And I swung and I hit the cup out of my seat, and it went flying. And it hit some elderly gentleman, which I felt badly about because I'm respectful like that. However, the elderly gentleman had a guy who was about 5 feet wide. I think his biceps were the size of my thighs. And he comes at me. He gets up and starts walking my way. And I'm sitting there and I'm feeling no pain. and this guy's going to kick my ass. So before you know it, out of nowhere, Louis comes lunging over, takes the guy out into the next row, turned into mayhem. So all hell's breaking loose. So I just sit there, I continue and eat my popcorn, drinking my drink, watching everything, from front row seats, watching Louis kick his ass. So, and I got news for you. Louis probably saved me from having plastic surgery because that dude would have pummeled me.
And the worst part, I think that guy who was the instigator, they ended up getting like seats behind home plate or something like that. Louis said, "You guys got moved up somewhere else."
Yeah, can you believe that? Guy's attacking me, wants to beat me up, and we're the ones that get kicked out.
It was him who was the aggressor.
That's right. That's right. Oh wait, the Yankees. Okay, it's early for baseball. We got a comment about the Yankees. They're not going to choke in the playoffs. And first of all, we have 148 games left, something like that. So that's so far out in the distance. We're not worried about that right now.
They're just trying to. They're needling at you, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's fine. You know what? They can just shut up.
That's the Jimmy I know. That's what I want to feel. So.
That's how you take control of the match.
Hey, it's been a long week. It's going to be a long week next week for me traveling. So we'll be back at it next Monday. I'll get this audio. We're going to get this thing figured out with this audio. So until then, the Yankee. We'll be out of it. We're done with the Yankee talk. We're going to be bouncing out of here. Cowboys Nation, you guys got to be ready. The season starts now. I don't want no more negativity. You guys got to think forward, think ahead. We can't look back. We got to support the guys we got. And don't forget, next week we got Larry Cole's going to be on the show. So we got a great Cowboy show. So it's going to be with Larry Cole, legend from the 70s, was on 5 Super Bowl teams, 2-time Super Bowl champion. He's also played in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, 3 decades. So he's got a wealth of history, and we're going to talk to him a little bit about the Cowboys and maybe some thoughts on the GM and what his feelings are on it too. So until next week, Jimmy, you got anything else?
No, I'm looking forward to the Cole interview. I mean, we always show a lot of respect to the guys who made the league what it is today. So even though I'm not a Cowboys fan, I'm really interested in talking, on his take on how the game evolved in his era, from the 60s to the 80s and then to now. And we always show respect for those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So make sure you guys tune in. We're going to get this thing figured out. You guys, peace out. Cowboys Nation, we're going to get hyped.